Okay, so for the last equations here, it says solving an equation with a rational exponent. So pretty much what that means is that you are solving an equation that has an exponent that is a fraction. And once again, you're still going to follow PEMDAS backwards. So you're going to look for addition or subtraction first. Okay, so here, so we look at these parentheses and we have rational exponents. We're looking outside of that. So I do see I have addition or subtraction. I have a plus 2. So I'm going to undo that by subtracting 2, which leaves me 2x to the 3/4 power, which equals 10 minus 2 is 8. Now at this point here, be careful. You can't divide by 2 because you have an exponent, right? So we have addition, subtraction. We have multiplication, division, but it's inside the parentheses. We're looking for outside, so it should be in front right here, which there's not. Now we have an exponent. When it's 3 to the 4th, or 3/4 power. Let me space this out a little bit more. So you see that 3/4 power. Before, we could just raise it to the root. But here, since it's a fraction, what we're going to do is we're going to raise it to the reciprocal. So the reciprocal means to take the fraction and flip it over. So I'm going to put parentheses around here. And the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. Okay, so from here, 3/4 times 4/3 is just 1. So I don't need it. I'm left with 2x. Over here, I can't really do the rational exponent form, so I'm going to convert it to a radical notation. So the cube root of 8 to the 4th power. 2x equals, now I always take the root first and then I raise it to the power. The cube root of 8 is 2, and 2 to the 4th power is 2, 4, 8, 16. And I know it's not a plus or minus because the root was an odd number, so there's no plus or minus there. Last thing I can do is divide by 2, and I get x is equal to 8. And I can always go back and check my solution by taking x equals 8 and plugging it back into the original function. So over here, 2 times 8, let's try that again, 2 times 8 raised to the n over d, 3/4 power, arrow out, plus 2, and that should equal 10, and it does, so that answer does check out. Now at this point here, instead of writing 8 to the 4/3 as the cube root of 8 to the 4th power, you could have just typed it in here, parentheses, 8, close parentheses, raised to the, let's see, n over d, so I can see it, 4/3, and that should give you the same answer of 16, which is what I got. So you could put in the calculator like that. All right, for the next one, x plus 30 to the 1/2 power. So, addition or subtraction outside the parentheses, I do not have that. Multiplication or division outside the parentheses, I don't have that. I do have an exponent of 1/2. So that's pretty much the square root. So I can raise this to the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2/1, which is just 2. So the 1/2 and 2 is 1, so I can just write x plus 30. X squared. Now you'll notice I have a squared term. There's no way to get rid of that, so I'm going to bring everything to the same side as x squared so I can see if I can factor it. So I'm going to subtract the x and subtract the 30 from both sides. So I get x squared minus x minus 30 is equal to 0. X method, negative 1. 1 times negative 30 is negative 30 divided by 1, which is your a value. So that's going to be negative 6 and 5, because negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1. Negative 6 times 5 is negative 30. Negative 6 divided by 1 is negative 6. 5 divided by 1 is 5. Set each one equal to 0. So x is equal to add the 6, subtract the 5. If you plug these in, I can do that real quick. So we have parentheses, let's start with 6 plus 30. Close parentheses, raised to the n over d, 1/2 power, which is, oh, there should be a, so what did I plug in? 6, so there should be a 6, so 6 does equal 6, that's good. And for the last one, we can change that 6 to a negative 5. Let's insert cosine. So I'm plugging in negative 5 plus 30 to the 1/2 power, and it should equal to negative 5. So let's see if that works out. It equals a positive 5. So 5 does not equal a negative 5. So therefore, my only solution is x equals 6. That is an extraneous solution right there. Oh, sorry, let me move this over a tad bit. There you go. So you can see it's an extraneous because negative 5, when you plug it in, does not work.